Now here's a piece of driftwood about 2 foot tall. I'd say, well, maybe 2.5 feet tall, foot wide. The depth is, you got some about 3 inches there. Some points are 2 inches. Now, this may not be a carving video all about carving in the burs. I'm not too sure yet because I'm decided what I want to carve on this. I'm sitting here for the last 10 minutes drinking my coffee and I can't decide what I want to carve. Do I want to carve another Woodspirit or do I want to try and carve something else? I've put it in all different positions. I thought maybe try to carve a whale or some kind of creature or something. The whole thing with if I carve a whale or some kind of creature is I want to leave lots of this gray, old weathered look on this piece. And if I carve a whale, or like I could use this as an eye, this root as an eye, and then have a mouth here or a dragon or something, but then I think I would have to clean up most of the rest of this piece. Then you wouldn't see much of that gray. And that's a lot of work. And I don't want to do too much carving today. So I've just held it in all different positions and to see what I can get. And I'm still really undecided of what I want to carve. So most people know that on this channel, my favorite thing to carve is the wood spirits. And they're getting better slowly. So I think today maybe I'll practice on my wood spirit. I want to leave most of this side natural, kind of just like the natural weathered color here, and show, I know that I'm pretty 99.5% sure that this is cedar, old western red cedar. So I know you're going to get a beautiful color inside here. So I think the sky's the limit. You can carve whatever you want, and this is for the very beginners too, just to kind of show you, open your mind. So right now my mind's kind of frozen. And I think this is the view that I want to go for. Or, even you got friends that are carvers or artists, send them pictures of all the different views and ask them what they should carve in it. But I think today I want to try and carve a wood spirit with some kind of helmet, maybe like a eagle head. I'd see to do an eagle head on top of this wood spirit. I don't really have that much room, that much depth. But right here, where I'll be carving, where my thumb is, I've got like 3 inches there, so that might be enough depth. I might just have to carve the eagle head right about here, or whatever it is. Open up your mind, everybody. And for me, I know this is repetitive. Sometimes my mind doesn't open up till I start digging into the piece. So I think I'm going to start digging in, put some music on, put my dusk mask on, and let's see what I come up with. Just when I was putting my camera down, I came up with an idea. I'm going to make it so like there's half a wood spirit's face in here and the other half is still underneath the rotting. Like I'm going to carve it so it's like kind of, you just see half a wood spirits in the face. I'm going to carve, and then the other half will be hidden underneath this old wood. How about that? Beautiful old brown western red cedar. So when I was done carving that out, I was thinking to myself, you got to keep in mind too, when you're doing this, you want to try and not do that, like nick the outside of the wood. You want to keep it all naturally weathered. Now, when I was doing this, I said to myself, well, actually, this is the way that I started carving it, this way. I was thinking to myself, oh man, I already screwed up because half the face, how am I going to hide the half? There's way more room here than there is over here, and how can half the face be under here? But does that make sense to you? Probably not, because it's just my mind speaking, not yours. You know, you can do it this way. It doesn't really make sense that the wood cracked that way, but it like, does it need to make sense? Really? Does it need to make sense? It's your art. Art does not need to make sense, and that's, I think so many people struggle with that, and myself, I struggle with that. You know, art can just, you can friggin' get some paint and do a couple things on here, and then it's classified as art. So it does not have to make sense, if that makes any sense. So I could do it like this too. You know, I could carve a theme in there, but you see how neat it looks? You got the old weather look on there, and you got the nice, beautiful wood on the inside. So I think what I'm going to do is go with my original plan. I think I'm going to do a supersized Woodspirit face in here. So like you'll have a huge nose. It'll just be, I might not even do a Woodspirit face. I might even just do a silhouette of a face in here. So half his nose will be hidden under here, and eyes. And this is what I could try and practice. You know, I'm gonna have a big eye in here. I could try and practice carving eyes on this one. So, you know, like I said, I think I said in this video, every carving that you do, if you don't know what to carve, well then that's the time that you should probably, I speak for myself, is I should probably slow down and practice doing something that I normally struggle with. So let me draw this big Woodspirit on the overhead, and doesn't have to be a Woodspirit, it can just be a silhouette of a face. You know, I even thought about carving one of my eagles up in here with a moon hidden underneath there. It can be whatever you want to you carve, and just it's just the best to try to, don't worry about what people think. Carve what you want to carve, and it might look silly, but the more that you do, the more that you're going to get better. I'm telling you that much right now. For me, when I started carving, like I started carving the koi fish and stuff, but then once I started carving the wood spirits, they really took off, and that's why I had no problem selling them. And I still don't. I still sell them. That's my best seller, is the wood spirits. Anyways, just open up your mind and have a good time. Okay, so, all right, so the cameras are the overhead. So like I said, this will be a supersize face. Now, so this would be his forehead up here. His eyes here. Where do we want to put the center line? You can put the center line anywhere you want here, really, because then the forehead would just kind of be over here, if that makes sense to you. No, let's put it over more. We might have to bring this forehead over a little bit more here. Bring it down so we can give him beard hairs down here. If I do a wood spirit. So it's there kind of like that. Well, actually, we're going to move it over just a little bit, because we don't want to have to carve any of the bridge of the nose down here, because it's getting pretty thin here. So I think that will be all right. Supersize spirit or a face or something in here. So I got to carve deep around. I got to start shaping this. And a piece like this too, you know, if you cut through it, who cares? It looks cool. It's like a rusted out in your wood. Maybe I even might try and cut through it, the wood spirit face, because it gives it the more rotten looking and old. That's why I'm going to go for this piece. The more rotten looking I can make it look, the better, I think. So there's a lot of, I got tons of videos how to carve wood spirits in my playlists. I think this is, put this line up here just as a reminder. Bring the nose over just a little bit more. So it's like that. Maybe even a little bit more. Just want to see half the nose. That makes sense. You guys are probably like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Well, hopefully it will make sense when I'm done. This video is going to be most talking, but I'm going to do most of my carving with the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr. This is my go-to burr here. I'm running a Dremel 4000, Dremel flex shaft that's hooked up to an on-off foot pedal, so you don't have to keep on turning your thing on and off. It's just more convenient. You know what I mean? So get yourself a foot pedal. You can just even use an old sewing machine foot pedal and carve, put some tunes on, and have a good time. Would you look at all the depth I got in there? Holy cow, nothing but depth. More depth. You see how that nose is, the eyebrows are still kind of flush with the nose? All you have to do is carve those eyebrows down lower. Now this kind of reminds me of old Sesame. I think it kind of looks like Bert and Ernie. You know Bert? See the way his hair's up like that? Lots of depth. When I cut through, I was like, yes, finally. I did slope his head a little bit too much. That way, should be more up. That's okay, because I'm just going to carve that so it looks like it's rotten in there too. Let's draw the mustache and the beard on. We're going to do a Woodspirit. Okay, this is hard to explain, but I've been watching people's, I've been watching actually a lot of Joe Rogan. That guy's a classic for sure. And when I say to push your mustache down on your cheeks higher and you push it down, I usually bring my mustache over here, off from the side of the nose, but that's not, it kind of goes like this. And let that line do its thing in there. I've been struggling with that for a little while, but I finally realized what I was doing wrong. So, because the more, if you push that, it's really hard for me to explain, but you push this in deeper, then you want to do your mustache coming out of here. Well, you know, and that's talking about going for realism too, by the way. So there's that. Now I gave this guy the denty nose. Got a dent in there. Then his beard, I kind of left this like that so his beard can roll down here and then it can all connect. Now you have to separate his cheeks from his beard. You can do that. The round line, I just kind of go like this and then blend it together. You know, it's the proper way is actually doing it round, like just Carve Rob does, but I haven't practiced that enough yet for it to work with the way I want I'm not gonna lie here. I like my wood spirits to kind of look aggressive. So let's get I'm wearing a dust mask when I'm doing this carving. I'm still under the weather. I got the stomach flu or whatever it's called. So I'm definitely wearing my dust mask. So I'm going to carve this out, carve a mustache in, and then I might carve these eyebrows down a little bit lower too. You don't need to have your eyebrows sticking that far off the face, if you can see or not. Was this on camera when I was filming? Hope so. Okay, cut this in, cut out here, give them a bottom lip, and try and make it look a bit more aggressive. When you're carving these negative space pieces, sometimes you need to carve around the back, hollow it out to get the effect that you're looking for from the front. I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's kind of what I was going for. You can see here how deep I had to carve in that corner to make it look like there's I had to slope down. Jesus, Jordy. I mean, snap, Jordy. I had to carve the bridge of the nose down to give it the full 3D effect. Even doing this carving in here, you have to make sure you got to try and round the lip. You know, the deeper that you oh man, here we go. Here we go. The deeper that you carve it, the harder it becomes to carve. But the deeper that you do your wood carving, even a wood spirit, you know, the deeper and rounder that you make it, the more that you carve, the better it's going to look. Not all the time, but like for the very beginners, don't be afraid to carve deep. You know, dig in there. Like, don't just, you know, start off with little surface carvings and stuff like that. But once you get more experience with the tools, dig in there and carve deep. If that makes sense to you. Now I'm going to try and do an eye. I'm thinking about maybe giving this guy a sleeping eye because, well, he's inside the wood. He's just having a nap. Or do I want it to make it look aggressive? To make it look more aggressive, I think I would have to probably raise this, make this look a bit angrier. Now look at that. Look how, even doing that, so if I carve out this wood, it just gives you a bit more aggression. See that? All right, carry on. This might be one of the best eyes I've carved on a wood spirit. Now, I don't know if I did say it at the beginning of this video because I don't remember what I said, but I said I'm going to start carving, open up my mind, and when I get to it, I'm going to practice on the eye. Because that's what I struggle with the most, and that's what most people struggle with the most too, I believe. And lots of people struggle with the noses too. So, am I happy with this? Friggin' rights, I'm happy with this. It looks kind of reminds me of the Shining, and it was so nice to be able to carve this old first growth cedar with tight grain. It was so soft. Everything about this carving for me to do is a pleasure. It was such a pleasure. Because lately I've just been carving that second, third growth cedar with my chainsaws. You got the wider grains, and it's wet. This piece was bone dry, and it was just such a pleasure to carve. So here's a wide view of it. It kind of reminds me of The Shining. Now, I got this torch. I got like 3 of these torches. They're little butane torches. Now, when I first started wood carving, I'd burn cottonwood bark. You'd burn away all your detail. So now what I'm going to do is just get this torch and go along here, all the edge. I'm going to burn it. I'm going to burn a little bit down in here and just kind of lightly hit the mustache and lightly hit the hair, lightly hit the eyebrows, and that's how you're going to get that effect for shading with burning. But don't overburn it because you can, and everything's just my opinion. You can overburn it as much as you want, but less burning is better sometimes. Yep. Okay, so I got this board down. This is like foam board, so sparks won't go into my dust collector table. I'm not really a big fan of this torch, but it's all I got present. So just give it, you can burn a little bit deep in here. I'm going to burn around the outside here too, and then I'm going to sand it. It's just kind of something that I do. Don't be afraid to burn deep down in here, especially in here, because you don't want people to see that you just kind of hacked it just to make it kind of give it the shape. Just a quick little hit. Oops, I want to burn that foam board. And around back too. So just kind of deep in here. In the nostril, you don't want to burn the nostril away though. But I get carried away with burning. I take full credit for that. Don't forget to sign your pieces. It's best to do this outdoors. I have a fan up above my table, like a little computer fan with some filters in it, so that mostly sucks up all the smoke. Yep, see, it kind of burnt away the nostril. Anyways, you guys see what's going on here, right? Don't burn it too much. You'll regret it. Okay, so I got most of the burning done. I think I burnt it a little bit too much, but that's all right. Here's a sanding mandrel. Get these on Amazon for like $5 for $10 or something like that, or maybe it's $15 now for 6. But I got some Scotch-Brite on here, so I'm going to run around and clean up this piece. Oops, got to get my fan going. All right, so that's going to be it for this one, everybody. I hope this video was somehow helpful to you. Now, you know, I've ruined lots of pieces by putting finish on it, oil or the spray, acrylic, whatever you call it. I'm not putting a finish on this piece. I'm leaving it the way it is. This piece is basically, if anybody buy it, well, who buys it? I'll tell them it's meant for indoors, and there's no treatment on it, and it doesn't need it. So there you go. There's how to open up your mind. And I hope this was, like I said from the beginning, this isn't going to be that much carving. I hope it's helped you guys and tried to open up your imagination and just have fun. Don't care what anybody thinks. You can do it and carve deeper. And don't shit your pants. I just carved, Rob. Anyways, I'm super happy. I like it. Now I got this ashtray. I'm going to carve and take a mold out of it, but I think I'm going to do that on my own time. Later. Sorry, I'm not quite done yet. Normally, I just carve a little hole up here for somebody to hang their wood spirits on the wall. So this piece is a little bit bigger. I do have these special hook things that you screw in and they hang on the nail, but I can't find them. So I don't know why I even told you that, but carry on and have fun. And try and, if you're carving wall hangers, try and carve something that's flat on the back, so it sits like perfect when you hang it. Anyways, bye.